So,
hi everyone, welcome to our channel. This is Conversations with Alex, and Arianna.
I'm Alex.
And I'm Arianna.
Here we go.
Today we're going to be talking about some frequently asked questions about rentals and other common scams that happen. Based in Long Beach, we have a very rental saturated market. So it's very competitive over here to get rentals. So we want to make sure that everyone is doing the right thing and they, aren't getting taken advantage of. So we have a few questions that we prepared. First off would be, how long after the lease is up can the landlord hold the security deposit?
By New York state law, I believe that it's 14 days.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to, you do have to, it's in New York state, the law is 14 days after the person's lease is over and they move out.
So you don't just get the security deposit like the day your lease ends. And this should be designated in the lease agreement. So if you're not sure about how long the landlord plans on holding it after the lease, you should ask before signing the lease. Right?
Correct.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Another commonly asked question that I know I get asked a lot is, do all rentals have a broker fee?
Actually, there's no set thing. It's really up to the owner of the property, the landlord. But usually it's, people expect, a lot of people don't want to pay, but it's really built into the price anyway.
Well, and if the owner of the rental plans on hiring an agent to market the property and show it and do all the things that get involved with, finding a new tenant, I mean, they expect to be compensated for that.
Correct.
So if you have a legal rental that's posted on MLS, you should, expect to pay the broker fee. Most of the rentals in Long Beach, you have to pay the fee. As long as
the majority of people do that. We run the other way if it's not a legal rental. We got a call last week. Someone called up and said, we'd like you to rent it out for us. We have a great 2-bedroom. The only problem is it's a 1-family house, and you can't do that. It's
and
illegal.
We're not going to lose our license for
definitely not worth
$1,000. But if you want to avoid the broker fee, there's really only one thing that we recommend you doing, which is going on, third-party websites like Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, to search for someone that's an owner that's posting the rental themselves. The easiest way to avoid the broker fee is to, go directly to the owner. But a lot of the legal rentals are going to be listed with an agent.
Right.
If you do rent an illegal apartment, landlord-tenant law isn't going to protect you. So that's another thing that is kind of a gamble you have to take into account.
We don't recommend it.
What comes along with, looking at these third-party sites is there's a lot of scams. So in terms of scams that you've heard of.
There are scams everywhere, but this is definitely an area where there's a lot of it. I remember we used to have Craigslist and some of these other sites that did the rentals, and you would basically sign a lease on the hood of a car or something, and we actually, one of my nieces almost got, and she did call us last minute, and I said, there's no way that's legal, because anything that sounds too good is definitely a scam.
Yeah, and you don't want to get taken advantage of. You can't trust everything that you see on the internet. So
you can't?
I mean, you can, but it might not work out in your favor.
We have some clients that do.
This is true.
All right, moving on.
What's required to rent in Nassau County?
Typically, it's 3 months. So you have the first month's rent, the security deposit, and then the best part, the broker's fee.
Yeah, which is all equal to 1 month's rent.
Correct.
To apply for an apartment, usually people are going to be looking for, you have to give a set number amount in order to not be discriminatory for credit score and income. Landlords can decide whatever requirements that they want. You just have to be specific about them.
Correct. You can't sway from any way.
You can't say like, oh, you have to have good credit, because who knows what good credit means. You have to have like an actual numerical amount.
Right. So that could be a multiple of the rent, or it could be a credit score, you know, and if there's a voucher involved, then it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Then the landlord's required to rent.
Correct.
What do I do if I don't understand what's in the lease?
I would call a lawyer.
We're real estate agents. We're not real estate attorneys. We don't know the law as well as an attorney would.
Right.
So we always recommend, we're not allowed to give legal advice.
Absolutely.
That's illegal for us to do. Unless you're a lawyer, and I didn't know that.
I'm not. I got into law school. I just didn't go. Good move.
Yeah.
Sorry, all those lawyers out there.
And now our last question is, should I inspect the apartment before moving in?
Okay, this is one of the biggest problems we have, and people don't listen. So when you move in, I absolutely, positively think that you need to walk through with an agent, or with, walk through with your agent and look around and see if there's any damage. Because even if you do no damage, at the end of the lease, they're going to find things.
Yeah.
So be on the smart side, take our advice, definitely do a walkthrough. If it's a walkthrough with the landlord or with
the
your
landlord
agent.
should really be there.
Yeah. And then you walk through, and if there's any damage, you mark it. It's like when you rent a car and they walk around your car and they say there's a scratch here or a scratch there, because they're gonna try to keep deposits a lot of time, and you need to do that. And also on the way out, you should do an inspection on the way out and take pictures, plenty of pictures.
Of everything.
Before and after, so you could prove it's there.
So before you move your furniture in, because they could say, oh, well, like this scratch was on the wall because, you hit it with your couch. Like,
it's been there for 12 months.
If it was there before you moved in, you want to have some sort of proof to acknowledge that. You don't want to have, the security deposit not returned to you because you rightfully deserve it.
And very important also is your security deposit is not supposed to be used for the last month's rent. So if you have a 12-year lease, after you pay 11 months, and then you say, oh, I'm not paying anymore because they'll take it out of that does not work. It's probably in every lease, and you can't do that. So don't expect to be able to do that. You have to pay the full 12 months, and that's what you signed up for. Or if it's 24 months, whatever. It's 24 months of payments.
The main purpose of a security deposit is to do any repairs to the damages that were made while you were living there for however long of the period of time, right?
Right.
And if you decide to break your lease, it gives the landlord, a 1-month cushion to, get another tenant in if you decide to end your lease early. Because it would be unfair if you signed a contract saying, I'm going to stay here until this time of the year, and then you decide to leave early. That would be unfair to the landlord. So it gives them a little bit of a cushion.
Right. So if anyone has any questions about rentals.
Yeah. Cool. And if we also have a template for a walkthrough checklist, if you're interested, send us an email or even leave a comment and we can send that over to you. It's good to have when you walk through. It has the tenant and the landlord sign off so that everyone's on the same page of the current condition of the apartment before and after you live there.
Right. You don't want any trouble.
Yeah, and we're trying to help you not get into trouble. So,
yes.
Other than that, I think that's it, right?
It's a wrap.
Alrighty. Happy renting, everyone.